It's been 3 days since I last posted a video because I've been literally camped up over at my sister's place. I have been going back and forth collecting bits, but literally I've been in and out and I've had no time to post. But I have a little bit of leeway today, even though I am going to be ducking out as soon as I finish here. Right, so I will begin with a reading from the Bible, which reads, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." A special message to the believers. Why are you so afraid? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid is going to happen? Ever since, I think it was March, because my birthday is in March, and I spent my birthday in bed on the day when lockdown was announced. Nothing has happened. I've not worn a mask ever, and nothing's happened. Yet from day one, I've had two people in particular constantly going on, constantly telling me, where are we now? We're in September, March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. I've had two people, one of them is a firm believer, constantly telling me this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I don't want to go into it because I'll get kicked off YouTube, because we're not allowed to state our own opinions. But people who know me know that I don't do doctors. Even dealing with the doctors on behalf of my sister, I just made a phone call on my way here to check whether afternoon means immediately after 12 or later. And I've been reliably told afternoon with the doctors means 3 o'clock and thereafter, which is fine. So that gives me a little bit more time, so I don't have to be rushing. But in coming here, I had a conversation with someone, and immediately, oh, things are going to get different. They're going to clamp down. I've been hearing this since March. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. Nothing has happened. And I mean, I'm the kind of person, I won't go into any details about anything, but I walk around with my energy switched on. And I fear no evil. I don't fear what man can do. I don't fear anybody. I don't give a damn what anybody, you can play along with whatever you want to. I answer to a higher authority, right? That is the only authority that I answer to. So I don't know what authority those who are filled with fear, I don't know what authority you answer to, but I know what authority I answer to. And it's this thing, if you want to be fearful, you be fearful, but for God's sake, stop putting it on other people. Stop, if you can be afraid of whatever you think is going to happen, you can stay in your house cooped up like a fowl. You can just stay in there like a battery hen and be afraid of what's going to happen to you if you step outside. That's your problem. Whatever fears you want to feel, that's your problem. But I mean, if other people want to embrace it, that's fine. But I am not the kind of person, I don't take on anybody's fears or anxieties. You are on your own. I don't, as I said, I don't do doctors. I went 20 years without seeing a doctor. And I only went because somebody said, you know, at your age, things happen to us, and, you know, you really should see a doctor. I went to the doctor. There was sod all wrong with me, right? Whenever, the only time I need to see a doctor is if I need antibiotics, right? And the last time I needed to see a doctor for antibiotics was 5 years ago, when I had a lymph node infection. I knew that I needed to see the doctor. So much has changed in the 20 years that I had dealings with a doctor's surgery. And if people want to live in fear of the consequences that are going to happen anytime in the future, and you are looking to the medical profession, or anybody that you call an expert, given that experts are the people that we look to. Nobody wants to look to God, because experts are more expert than God. As I said, that's the only authority that I answer to. If that's how you people roll, good for you. There is no fear in my life. There is no illness in my life. I am hale and hearty. One of my sister's friends called the other night, and it's always the same conversation. It's very limited as to how I can interact with people when it comes to health, because they are on a certain course where they think that you get sick, you go to the doctor. You get sick, there's nothing you can do about it. I don't roll like that. That's not how I think. Hence, I don't have any health problems. So anyway, so this friend is, I suggested perhaps she could visit, and she can't because she's got a problem with her knee and whatever. I tend to smile a lot when people are talking to me with regards to the current climate where you've got to wear a mask, and because I find just the way people are behaving, I find it quite ridiculous. I find that there's no point talking to anybody about health because, like I said, I handle things differently, and the proof is in the fact that I've got perfect health. I've not said this here, but when I don't, or maybe I have, I don't know. When I was in my 20s, I had women at church telling me when I got to 35, I would get middle age spread. Let me show you my middle age spread at 54. There's my middle age spread, right? So I have a long history of not listening to people. And of course, the more life equals experience, or so it should. So the more experience you have in life, the wiser you're supposed to become. If I wasn't listening to people when I was in my teens and in my 20s, what are the chances I'm going to start listening to people now that I'm in my 50s? Zero. Especially people who are living a lesser standard than I am. If you're living in fear and you don't know the first thing about how to cope, outside of the government telling you what to do, or the doctor or some other expert, you are not in a position to come and talk to me. All right, so this perhaps may come as a rant, but I mean, there are so many things that I've experienced in the past 3 days that I've not been here. This video would be probably 2 hours long if I was to go into it, but I've just been making observances, observing people in my travels, and I've, you know, it's if you're the kind of person who is like me, who likes to study people, because that's how you get to know what the world is like and where we're going. You can just study human behavior, just the way people adapt to instructions. Well, if like me, you believe in survival of the fittest, you can see that the future is bright. The future is bright for people who believe in survival of the fittest. And now is not the time to be listening to the weakest, right? The weakest are those who are fearing and panicking and not knowing what the future holds. I know what the future holds, right? I've been working towards it. I don't want to keep going on about the book, but the book serves as evidence to back me up. Published nearly 20 years ago, and people who know me will see that I've lived consistently. I follow, in the Bible it talks about the way God imparts knowledge, line upon line, precept upon precept. In the same way, you cannot climb a ladder from the top and work your way down. You start from the bottom up. I mentioned something about being perfect. Again, that's something that we're told, well, we're advised to do. Be ye therefore perfect. Let your light shine, blah, 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 and so on. If we choose to be weak and useless and fearful, then we are not in a position to be giving instructions to other people. Perhaps I come across as superior. I don't view myself as that, but obviously if I have superior knowledge, make of that what you will. Am I supposed to pretend that am I supposed to play along? If people who are not on the same level as me are in the leadership positions dishing out advice, am I supposed to listen to it when I know better? I would be the world's biggest idiot. I remember one of the leaders at church, in fact, a couple of people have said this to me in my time, saying that if the leader tells you to do something and you know it's wrong, you should still do it and God will bless you. That is a pile of garbage. I laughed in their faces. I have a long history at laughing in people's faces, right? And I will keep doing that. I will be damned if I'm going to listen to anybody who's on an inferior level to me. And when I say inferior, I mean lack of knowledge. I have perfect health. You go. I had the last time I had my blood pressure tested. I think I was in my 40s then. I was told I have the blood pressure of a baby. I am in fantastic shape, and I don't do doctors. Any advice that's out there now, I don't listen to it. I don't listen to it. I'm not telling you not to listen, but knowledge is freely available, and it's up to you if you want to find it. If you want to sit there and be damn lazy listening to experts, right? You can listen to all the experts you like. How many times does expert advice change? If that's what you want to do, great for you. But I just give it time, and we will see where we are. I mean, there's so much more that I have to say, but I'm not going to go into that. I'll save it for some future date when things start to look a bit different, and then I will come back and I'll talk about it. But right now, all I'm saying is, if you know better, then you are under obligation to do better. You do not listen to idiots. You do not take on the fears of other people. It doesn't matter who they are. I mean, the person I was speaking to, I just said, look, I'm going to end this conversation because I don't want to begin my day on a negative note. And you know, we don't suffer losers. As far as I'm concerned, if you choose to live a lesser life, then you are a loser. See you later.